Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be talking about the 3-day setup, and I'll be showing you how I personally trade this setup. But before we get right into it, I want to mention that this setup is different from your 3-day count where you have Monday as day 1, Tuesday as day 2, and Wednesday as day 3. The reason why I'm saying this is because this was one of the confusions I was having when I started trading Stacey burke setup newly. I also want to mention that levels are actually very important in trading this setup. Personally, I believe levels are actually very important in trading any Stacey burke setup, because you don't want to blindly trade any setup without knowing where price is coming from. But that's my personal opinion, so do what works for you. Now let's get into the strategy, or the setup rather. So I'm going to be explaining this setup in 3 steps. Now for the first step, you want to mark your levels. This is what confirms our day 1. So you want to mark your levels. So you want to mark your previous week low. So let's assume this is our previous week low here. This is our previous week low. Now after marking your previous week low, you want to see multiple lower closes into that weekly low, multiple selling, breakout and closing in breakout. So let's assume these are daily separators. So you want to see multiple lower closes into the weekly level, previous week low into previous week low. Now price has gotten into this level. To confirm our day 2, you want a first green day candle. Now for this first green day candle, you want a full bodied green candle. It's even better if it engulfs like the previous red candle. So you want a full body candle that closes above the open. That's what confirms a first green day. So you want a full bodied green candle that closes above the open. Now it's, as I mentioned before, it's even stronger if it closes above the last down candle. So if it closes above this area here, it's even better. Now for our day 3, which is the day we look for the trade. Now of course you want to also mark your Asian highs and lows, and also mark the low of the day 2. So you want to mark your Asian, first of all you want to mark your Asian highs and lows. So let's assume this is our Asian high and low. This is our Asian high, and then we have our Asian low. Then we'll also be marking the low of day 2. And the reason we are marking these levels is price may get to this level to trap sellers, giving them the illusion of more selling. So now as we have marked the low of day 2 here, so we mark the low of day 2. Now what you want to see is price getting lower, selling lower, breaking Asian low, and then selling lower. The other is to just trap more sellers. So let's assume maybe we this London created this selling, and then new session opens and this price just makes a higher low and shifts the market, or price may close above your EMA if you're using EMA. So price may close above your EMA and then continue to buy. Now our profit target will be the high of your day 2 and your stop loss below level. Now we have another scenario where for our day 3 entry, now for this particular entry, price breaks, instead of going lower to trap sellers, it breaks the high of our day 2. Price basically breaks the high of our, let's assume this is the high of our day 2 here. So instead of going lower, price immediately breaks the high of our day 2. Now to be able to trade this, you want to see a strong breakout. You don't want to see weak higher highs. You want to see a strong breakout that's making clean higher highs, and then when you get a small pullback, you enter. And then for this particular trade, you don't hold long. It can take about 30 to 40 pips and you leave the market. So if market breaks the high of our day 2 and then immediately pulls back inside, this has invalidated the setup. Like, look for another setup, guys. But if you get a strong breakout that continues to go higher, this is where you consider to enter after a higher low, and then once you get 30 to 40 pips, you leave the. So you can flip it over. Of course, you want for the selling, you want market to make multiple higher closes into. So you want market to make multiple higher closes into the high of our week. Sorry, let me just clean this up. So let's assume this is for the selling scenario. So let's say this is the high of our week. Now you want price to make multiple higher closes This is daily close candle, breakout and close and breakout into the high of our week level, previous weekly level. Of course, you mark your previous weekly level, so you want multiple higher closes into our previous week level, and then you get first red day, full bodied candle, not wicked, and then this confirms our day 2. Now for our day 3, of course, you mark your Asian highs and lows, and then you expect price to break the high of our Asian section and going higher. This is to trap traders. You may get to the low, the high of our day 2, and then trap and shift, change structure, and then continue to sell. So this is it, guys.